morning and thanks for joining us on After GMS. It is 7:45 Facebook Live. We appreciate you for joining us, chatting with us, and even just saying, hey, good morning, it's Friday. I know we're all excited for Friday. I'm Tracy McCain here in the studio. Megan Malaris and Taran Kirksey are working from home. And Taran, maybe I have all this renewed energy because the forecast is finally perfect.
Yeah, it's absolutely glorious, especially for this time of the year. You don't get too many days like this in June where we see sunshine and we have low humidity and comfortable temperatures. We'll see a little bit of cloud cover still this morning, but that will clear out and we'll end up seeing a nice amount of sun this afternoon. High temperatures will end up in the low to mid 80s and the humidity will be very, very low by June standards. Enjoy it while you can because the humidity will go right back up again as we go through the weekend into next week. And as the humidity goes up, our rain chances will go up as well. I can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm Saturday, but it looks like the rain chance will be higher on Sunday as far as the weekend is concerned. We'll keep the rain chance at around 50 to 60% Sunday afternoon.
All right, from the forecast, we move right into our first conversation this morning. And we want to know if you think people are taking coronavirus seriously, because now it is mid-June, we can say that, right? The 12th of June, and we've been dealing with this for a few months now. So I asked the question on my Facebook page, and people are already weighing in. Let's get to a few here. Sandra says, I'm still in phase 1. No, people are not taking it seriously. Shayla says no, because they're stir crazy and because there's so much going on in the world right now. Robin says no, I do not. If they did, they would not have gathered to protest or gone to the racetrack. That is why the numbers have gone up on coronavirus. Pamela says no, I don't think that vast majority are taking it seriously. They want what they want when they want it, and they feel like they will not get it if it's not real to them. Debbie says some are still being proactive or protective, but others are tired of the restrictions and getting more careless. Wanting to go away is not going to make it go away. Some great comments there, but they're all on the same side of things saying no, people are not taking it seriously. So we want you to weigh in the comments below, and while we'll do, I'll turn to Taran and Megan and see where they fall in this. Megan, you've been watching the numbers, so you have some perspective on this that maybe other people don't have because you literally watch them every day. What does the trend show?
Well, I mean, naturally, as you do start opening things up, people are going to be exposed, but also as you start testing more people, which we know we've seen a lot more testing now than we did even just a month or two ago, you're also going to be able to identify more tests than you otherwise would, many of which might not even experience symptoms or exhibit symptoms yet. So you're identifying these cases that might otherwise be asymptomatic. So yes, you are going to see more cases. Yes, there is probably more exposure at the same time. As far as my own observations in just starting to try to get out and do a few things with my family, I have seen people taking this seriously. Obviously, these businesses are reopening. They have to reopen. People have to get back to work. But I've noticed that customers and servers at restaurants, for example, are wearing masks. There are extra precautions as far as hand sanitizer stations everywhere you look. And people do seem to be respectful in still keeping their distance at most places. Then again, I've not been to a ton of places. This is just my observation in being out just the past week or two. But I do think that most people, at least the people who are hoping to protect themselves and their families, are taking precautions still.
All right, great point with the numbers. We appreciate that. That clarification always just kind of makes things a little bit more real for me, like, because I look at the number of cases and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going up another 4th day. And then seeing the number of tests kind of calms me back down because of that reporting. So I do appreciate you always giving us the facts over the fear of the coronavirus cases. So Taran, you have been out and about, I'm sure. Have you noticed people taking this seriously, or do you think the momentum is kind of dying off a little?
It's been a mix of both. I think overall, most people are taking it seriously, but also I think some people are getting a little burnt out. It's definitely a different way of living, if you want to think of it like that, and it's something that people aren't used to, and it's something that some people just don't like, and they're kind of reverting back to old habits, which I mean I do understand that. But we have to realize we're still in the middle of a pandemic. I know a lot is happening, a lot is going on, and you have to weigh that risk, I guess, for yourself, but also understand that you're going to impact other people as well. So, I think overall people are still taking it seriously, but there are some that are probably getting burnt out from the restrictions and from the safety steps that must be taken in order to slow the spread of this disease.
Yeah, I will say our world looks a lot different than it did at the beginning of March, right? When nobody was wearing a mask. There weren't these procedures at the doctor's office and at restaurants. So I think there has been progress to make it more of an inclusive environmental change for everyone. But again, it falls on that personal responsibility. And, some people are willing to do it and some people are kind of over it. So in the last 2 minutes, we are seeing people just kind of go off on our Facebook live stream here, and I love it. Shiloh says, people are not taking things seriously, but my family is. Cammie Marshall Anthony says, I definitely don't. Went to the store yesterday, and I was the only one wearing a mask. Ann says, no, they are not taking themselves or the rest of us seriously. Barbie says she agrees with you, Megan, and your thoughts about, seeing people taking more precautions. And then we're also hearing from Jay Harrison Hopkins, who says, nope, and I'm not sending my kids to school because of that. Heather Harness says some people are taking it seriously because of the protests. They think because of the protests, it's fine not to wear a mask. It's two different things, and the protesters are even wearing masks. Betty Lynn says there's too much conflicting information coming from the government. And Betty, I agree with you there at the beginning, especially it was like, do you wear a mask? And the answer was like, no, it's not going to really help you. And now it's like everybody should wear a mask, and they continue to do that. So I don't know if it was conflicting or if it was just changing, like evolving over time. But there has been a lot of information. Taran, you're like nodding your head because you see this too.
Yeah, it's evolving over time, and I think that's something that we're not used to in the society that we have now. We want like a definite answer: yes, no. The temperature tomorrow is going to be 80 degrees, or is it going to be 79? But that's not the way science really works, especially when you have something new happening that you don't know all the details about. You're learning and getting more data in each and every day. So you have to make course corrections as you go through time, and people have to understand that there will probably be more course corrections where they'll say, well, we thought at first that it was going to be like this, but now that we've had several months to study this, it's actually like that. And we have to understand there will be adjustments that have to be made, just like with the forecast. We do a 7-day forecast, but really, days 5, 6, and 7, I have lower confidence in my forecast for those 3 days than I do the days 1 through 4, just because there are more things that can, I guess you could think of it as, go wrong in the forecast as you go farther out in time, because there's a little bit less information. And so as they continue to get more data, the understanding of this disease will improve, and we will be better off as we move forward. The same can be said with the flu. When the flu first came on the scene, didn't know a whole lot about it, but we've been getting data about the flu for decades now, and so we are in a better position now to not only give you flu shots and things like that, but also treat the flu if you already have it. So that's just the way science works, especially with something new. So it's a constant, this old scientific method that you learned in middle school. You get a hypothesis, you test it, you may be right, you may be wrong, you have to go back to the beginning. So, there have been a change in messaging with certain things, but that's just a part of science. That's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm in science class when I'm talking to you and I'm getting a D, struggling to keep up. So, but that's good that you mentioned the word adjustment, Taran, because that jumps us right into our second conversation, because we couldn't have to make more adjustments as we go along with this. Of course, we're keeping an eye on the coronavirus numbers, so are health officials. And as reopening continues, there is new concern about a possible second wave. Doctors are now warning about that. So what do you think should be done to stop more cases of the virus? Do you think we need another stay-at-home order? Do you think face masks should be required? We're going to dig in deeper here while you weigh in. So there is new research out of the UK that says wearing a mask could play a big role in preventing future waves. The study found that when people wear one in public, even if they don't have symptoms, it is twice as effective for stopping the spread of COVID-19. Researchers concluded more people wear a face covering routinely. Restrictive lockdowns and stay-at-home orders could be avoided if, again, there is a second wave. The World Health Organization is now recommending everyone wear masks, especially if the virus continues to spread in your community. So back to our question this morning. What do you think should be done to stop more cases of coronavirus, especially now that doctors are warning of a second wave? Again, if potential, they're all things that you kind of have to weigh into this conversation. But if it does happen, what do you think we could do to prevent it? So, Megan, you know, face masks are one of the recommendations, and that seems to kind of be the recurring theme.
Yeah, I have no problem wearing a face mask. Of course, you know, I'm going to protect myself and my husband and my son. However, I feel comfortable, and that's one of the things I think is really easy to do. Also, continuing to keep my hand sanitizer handy, but I've always been very germ conscious, and so I think that is something good that has come out of this pandemic is people are being more aware of the transmission of germs, and hopefully we can prevent some of these other ailments from being that bad this coming year, like the flu, like the common cold, like other respiratory issues kids normally get or pick up at school, just because people are, you know, being more careful as far as washing their hands, sanitizing, and being mindful of being too close to other people. So I'd like to see some of those precautions stay in place, regardless of whether we get this second wave or whether we don't. You know, it's good to be more health conscious in general.
Yeah, and Taran, I'll turn to you, where our viewers are now saying how smart you are, lucky guy. Nobody ever says that about me.
They don't really know me then.
Oh, well, you are very smart. You can take that one. So what do you think here? Weigh in with your genius IQ.
Well, you know, I will say this. You know, it's one of those things that I'll try not to get on my soapbox again, but I have to always give the little disclaimer. This is just my opinion. I'm the type of person where I respect expertise. Okay, if I have something major wrong in my house, I'm going to call somebody to fix it because I don't want to mess up something because I don't have a full understanding of my HVAC system. I don't have a full understanding and experience doing plumbing. Okay, it's the same thing when it comes to infectious diseases. There are people that went to school for a long time, and not only that, they have been practicing and studying and doing research for, in many cases, some of the top health experts, not only in the state, but on the national level, for decades. They have been respected as leaders in their field. If they suggest to me that I need to wear a mask or I need to socially distance, then that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it the way that they suggest that I should do it, because you know what? They know way more about infectious diseases than I do. You know, I could have an opinion, but my opinion isn't really worth what I'm writing it on because I don't know all the details about infectious diseases. I'm not an expert, okay, in infectious diseases. My hope is that, you know, as we move forward here, it won't be as what's happened, and some of the people in the comments have said this, that it's become a political statement to wear a mask or not to wear a mask, and that's a shame. You know, we shouldn't be at a certain point in our society where, you know, everything is political and everything is just, you know, we're bumping heads with everything. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm wearing a mask not to make a political statement. I'm wearing a mask because the people that actually know what they're talking about who have suggested that that's the best course of action. And so I'm going to try to do that as often as I possibly can. Now, moving forward, once this is over, I totally agree with Megan. I hope people continue to wash their hands because that's just clean. You should be doing that. And I hope that people continue to give each other space in public because that's a good idea too, in general, just to stop the spread of other diseases like the common cold and the flu and all of that stuff. So that's my 2 cents on that. I'm going to step off my soapbox. Again, that was just my personal opinion. If you disagree with it, that's fine. You can feel free to yell at me, yell at the screen, or you can email me, tkirksey@wfny.com. I respect your opinion. So continue on.
All right, well, thank you. I will take it from here, Taran. But, it's interesting that you say this because the pandemic has become a polarizing topic of sorts, with people, choosing to do whatever they want, which is, obviously they're right. But when you're talking about other people and, potentially spreading it to other people, you obviously want to keep the united goal, which is to keep people healthy at the forefront. So we are hearing from people on our live stream right now. Lavanya Gerald Scales says a second wave will come, and she's preparing for it. Kim Stroud says she wears a face mask, uses hand sanitizer, everything. And then Donna says face coverings all the time. And let's see here. I have to skip a few because there are a few back and forth that I don't want to weigh in on here. But Daniela James says wearing a mask, staying home as much as possible, and only go out when absolutely needed. We are hearing from at least some people, and I can't find the comment right now, who says, stop, glorifying this. Stop making it, stop being fearful of your own shadows, I believe he said. I cannot find that comment now, but I do think it's important to make sure that we are giving both sides of the comments that are happening on our Facebook stream. I don't ever want to say, this is the only thing that's happening. These are the only type of comments we're seeing, because in fact, we are seeing comments from both sides. So that's why sometimes I'm kind of going through and trying to find the right, or not the right, but things to say that kind of give the whole message, because I'm not taking sides for sure, and I don't want it to appear that we are. But again, right now it does say, like Michelle says, it's not political, it's your health. Masks make you sick. So, I mean, there are so many different comments on here, and we appreciate everybody's opinion, which is kind of why we have this show, right? So that we can have an open discussion and communication of thoughts. So there's my 2 cents. Megan, why don't you give us some look at the headlines this morning?
Yeah, I will. There are a lot of opinions about this first story. The State Health Department and Ace Speedway faced off in an Alamance County courtroom yesterday. A judge ruled in favor of the State Health Department, forcing Ace Speedway to shut down. That order comes after the track held races with thousands of fans, violating the governor's executive order. Ace Speedway posted to its Facebook page saying practices and races scheduled for this weekend and next have been canceled. Right now, there's an online petition calling for the removal of a Confederate soldier statue in Graham outside the old courthouse. The petition has more than 12,000 signatures and is addressed to the mayor of Graham, Jerry Peterman. Mayor Peterman told us he is aware of the petition and has discussed it with city council members. He says removing the statue, though, is out of his control. The monument stands on the North Carolina DOT property.
Whole Man Ministries is offering relief to those affected by the pandemic. They're hosting a drive-through food bank this afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30. You can find it on Old Lexington Road in Winston-Salem.
All right, weather-wise here, lots of sunshine today. The humidity will stay relatively low and temperatures will be pretty comfortable, but then the humidity goes up again through the weekend. And as the humidity goes up, our rain chances will go up as well. That's the last look at your 7-day forecast.
Well, sometimes we just need to smile our way through things, and that's why, we like to highlight all the funny moments that we have on the Good Morning Show, because they're not, it's not all bad all the time, right? We do have moments where we like to kind of goof around. So take a look at the best of GMS and have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. I will start by saying I miss you all, and I cannot wait to have you back in the studio. But I've already said that I don't think Taran is coming back, whether it's a company solution or not. I think you're just happy at home.
Well, I haven't won the lottery, so they tell me to come back. I'll definitely be back very fast. I'll be the first person back in the building on time.
And I've seen a lot of posts lately about people considering renting RVs for their summer plans. I don't know, they're so big and bulky, I would not trust myself to drive one, but I'm not sure about you.
I think I could glamp it up in one of those. They have like even hot tubs in the back, some of them. That's the way I'm living. No, I'm joking.
Ooh.
No. Hello there, look who it is. It's me again. No, I'm joking.
You know, I'm trying to channel some inner Beyonce when I'm singing to my son at night. I'm not much of a singer. I could use some lessons from Christian perhaps, but I try.
I'm gonna sing the Muggy song. I don't know how that goes, but I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna write it before the show is over. I think I've got it. It's Muggy, it's Muggy. That's all I've got right now.
That's great. At least
Well.
you're on key. Congratulations, we did it. The team of two. Oh, I was high-fiving you. Whichever. It's good. It's good. That's an awkward thing. All right. Titanic was on also last week, and it was amazing to see. I still think that they both could have gotten on the door, but it's okay. I'm not going to go there. Oh, Taran, you agree? It's a debate that goes on in my mind, you know, since I first saw the movie.